So next up is Carol Murphy. Carol, for several years, was the president of the Pacific Northwest Sculptors and did a lot for the organization. Is she making her way up?
Yeah, right here.
Okay, great. So I'll read.
I just let you read.
Great. Moving from bronze figurative realism, Carol's art has morphed into a more organically elemental aspect of form using cement, steel, and mixed media. She introduced aerated cement, a green building material, into the art world as a serious medium, as well as developed her own original patina formulas, including a steel skin finish. Carol also works with recycled paper clay, found steel, nature, and a variety of mixed media that are all sustainable in nature, as she is concerned about the impact our art has on the environment. Well, she didn't write this, but she's also really good teacher and teaches a lot of people art, who many of you are probably in the room. So welcome, Carol.
This is kind of I went over, well, this is art since I've come to Portland. Sorry, this is art since I've come to Portland. This is what I used to do in Vermont, and this is the first piece I made here. Portland had a huge effect on me. It's the first place I felt like I was home. So it changed and morphed dramatically, thank you, dramatically after that. So the next piece will be very different. This is bronze, and I used to do figurative all the way up to life size. And this, as you can see, that's very different. This is aerated cement, which is a green building material. I discovered it in Europe and went nuts and just went, it's got to be here somewhere, and so I kept looking and came across it. And this is mostly what I teach out of. I also teach out of fiber clay or anything else anybody wants to learn that I'm a material I'm familiar with. But this is mainly what people choose. This is called the Egg Sisters, and that was, oh, let me see. That was done in 2010. And that's cement in the middle, and that's aerated cement around it.
How large is that?
How what? Large? It's about, I think, 2 feet high. And coming out is, which one is it? The exosensical clay. This is inlays of steel and stone that I found. Just trying to play with negative space and see how that felt to go. So I kept stretching into using different materials and adding to whatever I was doing. So I feel like what I've done over the last 15 years since I've been in Portland is to expand in one material and then move to another, and then move to another, and then come back sometimes and integrate them. This last 3 years in particular, I've gone way out on the ledge with different materials and gone, what am I doing? I have no idea where I'm going or why I'm doing this or what's happening with it, but I was just driven to do it, so I just kept going for an entire year, not knowing what I'm doing, putting down a piece and picking up another. And this is called In the Flow, by the way. It's called creativity. This is a steel patina. And that means I have a metallizing gun. It's an industrial metallizing gun that goes up to 6,000 degrees, and it sprays liquid steel out on top of the aerated cement, which is kind of cool. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, and then the next 2 years I also continued that, going on with different materials. And coming back to, finally, lately, come to put them together. This is another steel patina here. That's called intimate potting. And that's about 2 feet wide. And that was done in 2010 again. So I went off crazy with nature for a while, and I did my whole house. My apartment was completely covered with walls that just kind of danced with nature in one way or another. I think that was the beginning of moving into mixed media and on a larger scale, and as you'll see in a moment. So this is nature. There's 3 different pieces of wood along with the fiber clay. There's recycled paper clay, and it is put together in that form, and that's called In Repose. I forget, there's too many pieces, so I've forgotten the names. But that was done in 2015. You can see how different it is from the very beginning. The next one is Just Beneath the Surface, and it's 10 inches high and done in 2015. So that's a pretty small one. This here is the fiber clay again. This is steel. This is fiber clay, and this is an old piece of wood that I've kind of drawn on and put encaustic on and played with, and that's steel behind it here. And that's all kinds of materials again. You can see the encaustic maybe better here. What I've done is drawn on, with an ink, drawn around all the mistakes of what nature took, how nature developed it, and then just drawn around it to pull out all those mistakes and all those beautiful little things, and then put encaustic over it afterwards to kind of blend it all together. And the steel, and I've used fiber here. Well, no, I'll show you the next one that has it. But that's wood, steel, encaustics again. And this one is called, this one is called Eclipse Juxtapositions, and that's in 2015. That is nature again in the middle, and this is the fiber clay here, steel all around. And that's called Naval Wanderings, and that is steel and fiber clay and all that. What was I going to tell you about? I've forgotten. Anyway, if anybody's got any questions, please go ahead and ask them. That's again the nature and steel. Fiber clay, and that's called, I don't remember what number that is. I'm sorry, I can't tell you the name of that one. Yes, I can. Unassumed pedigree. And that's 2015. And this one is called Sinuously Interjected. It's 28 inches high, and it's 2015. That's what I was going to tell you. There's some places in here, and that's not one that's got it, but I'll talk about it anyway. One of it's the darker pieces that have the fiber clay in the middle. Basically, I've taken fiber and put it on top of the fiber clay, and then burned it. And so it kind of hugged it and it became part of that fiber clay. I'll show you that in a minute. And that doesn't happen either. This one actually, a person in the audience right over there, she bought that one.
Alright.
Yeah, she bought it before it was even finished. Let's see, and that, why don't you tell them the name, Susan? What's it?
Interrelated.
Personally integrated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is one. These are the last two that are coming out. This is one of the ones that's in process. That's why it's not a great picture. But you can see where I'm going with it. All the steel underneath, and now the layers of steel are coming out this way. This next one, yeah. Now this one is really in process. This got another part here that's moved up here, and this has moved down. This has actually come out, and this is also developed further. So it's all a process. I've got like 15 or 20 of them going all the time, and so I keep walking by and developing. Okay, this is what goes here, and then I don't know what goes next. I'm over here. You know, it's kind of fun to play. Anyway, I'm having a great time. I think that's it.